So the core of the hierarchy of a subculture is the 1%, the main powerful organizational link. What is the driving force and the basis for the formation of a hierarchy in a subculture? The key is the power of the role model. The 1%ers organize the subculture using their authority as a role model. In other words, those people are the best, more skillful and capable than everyone else. That's why they are the 1%. Naturally, there are other tales and manners of explaining who the 1% is and how he differs from others. For example, in the biker subculture, there are several counter-directional points of view on this phenomenon. It is believed that the biker subculture came from America. This is one of the fairly old subcultures that formed back in 1940s and 1950s. The first motorcycle club, MC for short, also appeared in America, and the representatives of this formation were not difficult to distinguish, at least in their appearance. Leather jackets, bright tattoos, scary-looking entourage surrounding them. There's also such a stereotype of a biker being a hooligan on a motorcycle. However, this is why it's only a stereotype. Stereotype that has nothing to do with reality. For a biker, his motorcycle is like his faithful horse, and the world is like a canvas on which he is free to write whatever he wants. For example, there is the following hypothesis. Since the first motorcycle club appeared in the United States at the beginning of the 20th century, when the motorcycles were still exotic, for example, the Yonkers MC, San Francisco MC, Oakland MC, the bike or subculture was finally formed by the 1950s. During that, motorcycle clubs also appeared on the scene, calling themselves outlaw. There's also other names such as motorcycle gang, abbreviation MG. The name speaks for itself. Disobedience to the law, desire to live beautifully and freely, violations of the law, petty hooliganism, and fighting, all on the basis of alcoholic intoxication. Trying to be different, not like everyone else. Being an outlaw, it's not always the business card of a criminal, but often a certain move to attract attention and to get self-affirmation. Getting a negative reputation for this is a controversial issue. On one hand, there was one incident in July 1947 in Hollister, California, which the media has infamously described in the headlines of the evening newspaper as the Hollister riot. It is not known for certain whether anything like that happened. What has been established is that there was a motor rally that took place in Hollister from July 4th through July 6th, and several thousand people took part in this event. How a couple of drunk guys on bikes became an informational occasion about riots is known only to the witnesses and authors of articles that were written. A couple of years later, on the basis of these publications, the movie The Wild One was made, starring Marlon Brando. As a result, there it is, the glorious power of cinema. A negative portrait of the biker as a bully and rebel was formed. You will find the following words in various sources, from motorcycle encyclopedias to frequent author blogs. The American Motorcycle Association is believed to have responded to the Hollister incident as follows. A statement was made that out of all bikers, only 1% can be considered outlaw, and the remaining 99% are decent law-abiding citizens. Needless to say, bikers immediately liked the idea of being the chosen ones, and not only the outlaw, but also those who were convinced that the AMA and its rules are not the authority to them. And that's how some bikers that opposed the AMA started calling themselves the 1%ers, and other motorcycle clubs were the 99%. Some outlaws and bikers really liked the idea of freedom, and they would start wearing patches of the 1% and also tattoos of the 1%. In the 21st century, there's a completely different point of view regarding the 1%. Modern day American bikers that proclaim themselves as such have nothing to do with riots or being an outlaw. They state that the 1% are real bikers, the ones for whom the motorcycle became a lifestyle and not just a hobby or a weekend getaway. From the position of studying and researching subcultures and looking at the hierarchy and how it's constructed, the 1%ers are considered as a notion that should be researched, and not a myth or a legend of the 50s. Using the example of a motorcycle club, as well as any other subculture, we understand that the club was founded by a president and a group of people, which were the 1%ers. And these 1%ers are the core power and the potential around which the rest of the club will start its formation and growth. The 1%ers are not engaged in actively inviting someone or lobbying for any private interests. Let us remind you, whether they are ravers, Satanists, or pacifists, no one publishes advertisements on the internet or in local newspapers such as, "Hey, we are recruiting to the club," or "Hey, come to our house." The hierarchy is built like this: the president, the first among equals, an elected person from the 1%ers. After him, it's the other 1%ers and their closest associates, which are usually two people, the so-called members. We could compare this kind of hierarchy of subcultures with the model that formed the origin of the very first knightly orders in history, the Order of the Right and Rights. Thus, King Arthur is the president of the bike club. Knights of the Round Table are the 1%ers. Their closest associates and like-minded people, usually two individuals who carry the weapons and act as advisors, are the members. Below is a diagram showing the hierarchy and building blocks of the subculture. In fact, the members don't come along just because. They come to the 1%ers on the same principle as a magnet attracts to metal. Members and other people come to a subculture whose ideas are magnetic and attractive. But in order for all this to happen, there needs to be conditions, a certain environment in which a group of like-minded people can all strive to implement those ideas.